Bay Packers have come to town to take on the Minnesota Vikings, and a playoff berth is at stake. Quite simply, if Green Bay wins today, they grab the final NFC playoff spot. If they lose, the Washington Redskins are back in. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Dan Fouts. Dan, Green Bay got what they needed yesterday, help from the Raiders. Now then, they have to beat Minnesota today. What are their concerns in trying to do so?
Well, Mike Holmgren said one thing yesterday, and that's that pass rush to the Vikings. 50 sacks on the year for the Vikings, 7 against the 49ers, Steve Young. So Brett Favre, the young quarterback who's going to his first Pro Bowl, will be facing Chris Dolman and company, but he's had an outstanding year, and he knows he has to get rid of that ball quickly today.
Minnesota's defense has a couple of concerns. They want to get 6 sacks and grab the season title. They also need to keep Sterling Sharpe from getting the ball.
And nobody's been able to do that this year. He needs 5 to set the all-time NFL record of Art Monk. And look for Sterling Sharpe to get it in the first quarter, perhaps in the first 9 plays of the game.
Sterling Sharpe comes in with 102, and he'll have to wait because Chris Jackie is going to kick off for the Green Bay Packers. He has been in the end zone 12 times, 6 touchbacks out of 66 kickoffs. Darren Nelson and Keith Henderson are deep, and we're underway. Henderson at the 1. Keith Henderson is dropped as he gets to the 22-yard line. Sean Salisbury gets the start, 7 of 17 last week, but he had a huge third down conversion in the fourth quarter on what proved to be the winning drive when he found Jake Reed for 35. The Pro Bowl on the left side, Zimmerman and McDaniel. Loudermilk, Habib, Irwin, and Jordan. Terry Allen is the running back. Joe Johnson, Anthony Carter, and Jake Reed in the backfield. The wide receivers. From the 22, first down and 10. Terry Allen, and he nudges his way to the 25-yard line. Tony Bennett will lead the Green Bay Packer defense that has played quite well during this current 6-game winning streak. Matt Brock, John Yurkovich, and Robert Brown up front. The linebackers are Kuntz and Noble and Dent replacing the injured Johnny Holland, along with Tony Bennett. Chuck Cecil is going to the Pro Bowl. He's joined by Terrell Buckley, Vinnie Clark, and Leroy Butler. Second down and 7. Into the flat for Allen. He drops the ball.
That's really not a good start for the Vikings, as they have been trying to get some early completions for Sean Salisbury the last couple of weeks. Worked on their passing game extensively this week. With the playoffs coming, Denny Green knows that his quarterback situation is shaky at best. Sean Salisbury's done a good job of leading his team, especially in that fourth quarter drive last week against Pittsburgh.
Third down and 7. Ball at the 25. Rush coming from the outside. Salisbury has to go to an alternate receiver, and it's overthrown, incomplete for Joe Johnson. Salisbury knocked down after he let the ball go. And the Packers have held and will get the ball.
And the Packer fans here at the Metrodome are on their feet, giving the appearance that they are as many, or at least as vocal, as the Viking fans. But that was a crucial third down overthrow by Salisbury. It appeared he had about 4 or 5 seconds to get rid of it. Lucky it wasn't intercepted by Chuck Cecil. Robert
Brooks will return the punt of Harry Newsom, who had one of 84 yards last week. With the wind in Pittsburgh, that's the longest this year in the NFL. This one not nearly as long and returnable from the 35. Works his way up to the 44-yard line, 9 on the return. A 41-yard punt, make it officially 10. Mike Holmgren sends Brett Favre onto the field. He is going to the Pro Bowl at the age of 23. 8-4 as a starter. Up front, it's Rutgers and Winters and Campen, Hallstrom and Tootie Robbins. The tight end with 50 catches this year is Jackie Harris, but that is less than half of those posted by Sterling Sharpe, who comes in with 102. Ron Lewis at the other wideout, and Darrell Thompson is the running back, along with the fullback Harry Sidney. Watch them go to Sharpe early. Backs are split, Favre will throw. Maybe. There it is, and he's got a man wide open. That's Darrell Thompson out of the backfield. And a first down at the 30-yard line. Thompson, who has not caught that many this season. That is only his 10th of the year. Chris Dolman leads the Packers. And in game one, he had a terrific game. Noga, Thomas, the Vikings rather. Noga, Thomas, Randall, and Dolman up front. Jenkins, Del Rio, and Merriweather are the linebackers. Carl Lee, Audrey McMillan, who's going to the Pro Bowl, along with Vincey Glenn, and Todd Scott, who is a Pro Bowler. First and 10, Green Bay at the 36. Thompson, 1 yard.
And talking to Holmgren yesterday, Vern, he said that, of course, that pass rush of the Vikings has to be controlled. And the way he wants to control it is work on Chris Dolman, keep him from getting in on Favre's blind side. And to do that, he'll use a tight end, and he'll also chip with the running back. But what Favre presents for the Vikings is a mobile quarterback and a guy that cannot always count on being in the same place in the pocket.
Second down and 9. Robert Brooks is in the lineup. He comes wide to the left. Thompson is in a slot to the right-hand side. Favre, under some pressure, flips it out. It's caught out of the backfield. Sterling Sharp, there's one of the catches. They have lined him up in the backfield the last few weeks. It started down in Houston. And Sterling Sharp out of the backfield gets his first catch of the day. Then a little fracas breaks out, and Audrey McMillan and Sterling Sharp quickly separate.
Soon to be teammates at the Pro Bowl, but as you mentioned, Verb, Sharp did line up in the backfield, and we'll see him all day long at about 5 different positions. He'll line up wide right, wide left. He'll be in the slot on both sides. He'll be in motion, and he'll line up in the backfield. And I think he really enjoys that backfield stuff because he gets a clean release that way and an opportunity to use his running ability after the catch.
Third down, no score, opening quarter. And Brett Favre calls timeout.
While all that skirmish was going on at the end of that play, the play clock was continuing to run, and that cost Sharp the timeout. And Favre.
Sharp now 4 catches away from the all-time single-season receiving record. Tony Dungy knows what problems he has.
We pride ourselves in not giving up 3 touchdowns. We've only done that once this year, and we feel if we can hold a team under 20, our offense is going to generally win the game for us. So that's what we shoot for.
Well, Tony Dungy talking about the overall defensive effort of the Minnesota Vikings, but among the problems he has is Sterling Sharp. 3rd and 5. There's Sharp in the backfield again. Here's the blitz. Favre goes deep. And he's got Jackie Harris at the 5, and he will be down by contact at the 2-yard line. A 29-yard gain.
Well, Jackie Harris, this is his 51st catch of the year. Watch the blitz come against Favre. He's going to put it up for grabs, but he knows his tight end is 6'3", working against a smaller defensive back. An outstanding throw and catch by the Packers sets them up inside the 5-yard line. That shows a lot of maturity on Brett Favre's part in reading that blitz, finding out where he has the advantage, and then delivering the ball.
First and goal from the 2-yard line. Backs are split. Power formation in. That's Sterling Sharp out of the backfield. On the roll, incomplete, intended for Thompson. And Favre was belted by Chris Dolman.
And Dolman lined up opposite his normal position that time, anticipating Green Bay's quick sprint out. They've studied a lot of tape on the Packers. They know the tendencies, what Holmgren likes to call in this situation, and they changed their defense for it.
Dan, what's the big advantage in having Sterling Sharp in the backfield?
Well, it's impossible to double team him with 2 defensive backs. You have to either put a linebacker on him or a strong safety. He has a lot more room to maneuver against lesser talented people.
This time it's Harris split wide right. Sharp in the slot. And they hand it on the trap play inside. Sidney, touchdown! Harry Sidney, acquired on waivers at the beginning of the season because he played for Mike Holmgren with the 49ers.
And if Mike Holmgren's not careful, he's going to get the label the genius for this year, Mike. He had Sharp in the slot. He motioned Thompson outside. A lot of attention went with those two guys, and then handed the trap to Sidney for the touchdown.
Now Chris Jackie for the extra point, and the Packers, who must win and they're in, are up by a 7-0 count. They stuff the Vikings defensively. They get a 29-yard pass play to Jackie Harris, and then
an outstanding block from Frank Winters on Henry Thomas here. Seals him off to the inside. Hallstrom gets a kick-out block, and it's one-on-one for the touchdown for Sidney.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Boy, there's a picture to be proud of.
That'll be somebody's Christmas card next year.
How do you take sides there? Here's the return by Darren Nelson. He's out to the 21.
What a heads-up play by Darren Nelson as Jackie had a pooch kickoff that time. It bounced at about the 20, and the Packers were on their way, but the veteran Nelson jumped up in the air and made the reception there of the kickoff and saved a potential turnover there for the Vikings.
Vikings get it back for the second time in the ball game. And they've got a first down at their own 20-yard line. 6 plays, 56 yards. Harry Sidney's 2-yard run put Green Bay on top. Terry Allen goes left, has some room. Chuck Cecil with the initial contact, but Allen broke that tackle. Then Vince Glenn comes up, or Vinnie Clark rather, and he makes the stop.
And defensively for the Packers, their main concern is stopping number 21, Terry Allen, coming off an outstanding afternoon last week against Pittsburgh, where he gained 172 yards. And he had 140 way back 15 weeks ago against these same Packers.
33 carries a week ago, and what is most impressive about that 172, only 2 of the runs were over 10 yards. Up the middle, here's Allen again. Runs into his own man. Still fighting. What a dandy run. Terry Allen had 2 big runs in the first game, and that one is good for 38 yards.
And Randall McDaniel showing why he's the best guard in football. Watch him, number 64, come over here and make a key block as he drills Matt Brock in the back, and this puts Terry Allen right at the doorstep of setting a new Viking rushing record. Needs 5 yards.
Chuck Foreman holds the record that Allen is about to claim. Here's a reverse. Joe Johnson, and a terrific defensive job by Brian Noble, number 91, who stayed home and made the tackle.
And much the same way that Sterling Sharp is the focal point of the Packer offense, well, Terry Allen is that for the Vikings. Got to give him a rest every once in a while. That's why the Vikings like to use these reverses to their flankers and wide receivers. And we should see Roger Craig come in to spell Allen every once in a while, as he's in right now.
Second down. Roger Craig lined up directly behind Salisbury, gets the toss and comes right. And he moves it to the 25-yard line where Burnell Dent makes the tackle.
Roger went over the 8,000-yard mark last week against Pittsburgh for his career rushing, and his job is to keep Terry Allen fresh. Comes in about every 8 plays or so, or after Allen has a long run, as he did earlier.
Keith Henderson checks in now alongside Roger Craig. 3rd down and 3, 7-0 Green Bay leads it. Early in the first quarter of the ball game, back split behind Salisbury. Craig on the sweep. Roger Craig picks up enough for the first down. He's out of bounds at the 18. Buckley with the tackle.
And a job well done for Roger Craig as he'll come over to the sidelines. Told me yesterday he sprained his ankle in Pittsburgh last week. That was his good ankle. He came into the game with a bad ankle and a knee that he just had operated on a couple weeks ago. So showing how tough he is. Amazing threshold for pain. And that was a nice big gain to set up the Vikings inside the 20 with a first down.
Salisbury came over to confer with Rich Gannon about the play that had been sent in, and the game clock wound down far enough that they had to use a timeout. So both teams have had to waste a timeout. 7:34 to go, first quarter of play. And the Green Bay Packers on top 7-0. Doubleheader for you on CBS today. Coming up second, most of you will see the Chicago Bears at the Dallas Cowboys. Others will watch Atlanta at Los Angeles or Tampa Bay at Phoenix.
Kind of fun yesterday afternoon, Vern, watching the Raiders beat the Redskins with Brett Favre in the hotel the Packers were staying at. He got a little nervous when it came down that last drive, didn't he?
Yeah, Vince Evans, when the Raiders took the field for the final time for them, Brett Favre was sitting at the table. He couldn't stand it. Got up and started pacing and criticizing the play selection until Willie Gault caught a long pass.
Yeah, and then the Raiders ran the ball 2 plays in a row, and I thought Favre was going to go right through the television set.
And when the touchdown was caught by Tim Brown, that young man went 3 feet off the floor. He was really excited.
As well he should be.
1st and 10, Terry Allen. He is back in. 7-0, Green Bay leads it. Allen runs into Burnell Dent. For Brian Noble it is. And Noble, number 91, with the tackle. Loudermilk comes by and gives him a little shot in the back of the ribs.
These guys know each other very well. These teams have played since the beginning of time here in Minnesota. Loudermilk's been around for about 8 years. Knows the Packers.
2nd down and 9. Tice in motion. Allen on the sweep. And he moves it to the 13-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. Burnell Dent, number 56, made the tackle. Green Bay Packers under Mike Holmgren defeated Philadelphia to start this current win streak, and look what they've done defensively since then.
This is the impressive thing, Vern. No more than 14 points in any one of those games. You win by defense. And when you look at some of these teams, you say, well, that's not that big a deal. But they still have had to play those teams in the past and haven't gotten it done as they have this year.
3rd and 4. Salisbury looking left all the way. Goes for Steve Jordan. Caught. Touchdown.
Leroy Butler is smiling because he took the wrong angle on this pass. Salisbury threw it perfectly to the back corner of the end zone where he knew Jordan would be. Butler misread the angle on the pass, and it's a touchdown for the Vikings. This is an outstanding job of pass protection because it's going to take Salisbury a while, but look where this ball is thrown. Nobody but his big tight end could make this grab.
That is only the 3rd touchdown pass for the Vikings in the last 9 weeks.
Northwest Airlines donates $100 for every point scored by the Vikings. This is Jordan's 2nd touchdown catch of the year. And the Vikings answer the Packer touchdown with one of their own.
Because he has had an injury-marred year, Steve Jordan is not going to the Pro Bowl for the first time in 7 years, but still a quality tight end.
He's been asked to do a lot of things in this new Jack Burns offense that he brought with the Redskins. Had to line up in the backfield, play fullback a few times, and do a lot of blocking for Terry Allen.
Reveiz will kick off, and for the 25th time this season, and that is a Viking club record, Reveiz gets the touchback.
Well, this is the angle we were talking about. This is Leroy Butler. He's going to come back in the end zone, and as Jordan goes to the corner, he's going to take the improper angle on this pass. Perfect pass by Salisbury, and Jordan gets both feet in for the touchdown.
So we are tied at 7 with 6:07 remaining. The Vikings go 79 yards. The big play was a 38-yard rumble by Terry Allen. And now Chris Dolman and the Minnesota Vikings face a Green Bay team that has a 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Favre, sharp. That's his 2nd catch. So he is 3 away from the all-time single-season record.
This is really the trademark pass play for this San Francisco / Green Bay offense. The flanker goes down and curls about 12 yards. The fullback swings to the outside, and what you've created for your quarterback is a 2-on-1 situation. And Favre got back quickly and delivered a nice catchable ball for a guy with real sore hands.
Sharp this time comes left. 1st down and 10. Jackie Harris in motion. They hand it off to Thompson when he tries right tackle, moves it out to the 36-yard line.
That Sharpometer is a pretty good deal. I don't have to get my crayon out and keep track up here. Yeah, there it is. I can handle that. I just hope they're accurate.
No kidding. They are.
Right
he needs 3 to break Art Monk's record. There's the list. Charlie Hennigan did that in 12 games, by the way, in 1964. So did Lionel Taylor.
Those are the good old days of the AFL.
Robert Brooks lined up wide to the left. Little quick clip. There's the 3rd, and that's to the 41-yard line. Jack Del Rio makes the tackle on Sharp. That's a gain of 4.
And what the Packers do better than anybody is throw underneath or in front of the linebackers. Watch Del Rio and Jenkins drop back in their normal set, but Sharp only goes down 3 or 4 yards. He catches a ball, turns upfield, picks up another 2 or 3. You add it all together, you got a nice 6-7 yard gain. Very tough to defense, either with man-to-man coverage or zone coverage.
And among the many talents he brings to that position, his ability to run after the catch is probably his outstanding trait. 3rd and 1, 7-7 ball game. And Harry Sidney is close. I think they're going to give it to him. I think the spot will prove good enough for the 1st down. Jack Del Rio filled the hole.
Harry's not so sure, though, Vern. Checking that spot out real closely. Running backs like to finish their runs heading in the other direction, not on their back, going back towards their own goal line.
Dale Hamer is the referee today, his crew working the ball game.
You talk about a guy that could be or should be going to the Pro Bowl. What about Jack Del Rio and the great year he's had here, his 1st year with Minnesota?
Jack is one of the Plan B acquisitions, signed as a Plan B free agent from the Dallas Cowboys.
All he has is about 140 tackles on the year, playing behind an outstanding front 4.
7-7 game, 3:45 to go 1st quarter. Green Bay goes to the playoffs if they win. Minnesota's already in. 1st and 10. They'll try to sweep with Thompson, and Jack Del Rio knocks him down for a loss of 1.
One of the reasons middle linebacker in this defense makes so many tackles, here he is right here, is this defensive line will make penetration and keep the offense from getting anybody out there to block. That time Frank Winters dove at Del Rio's feet. He missed on the block, and Del Rio makes a tackle for the loss.
Jack Del Rio, who has played previously with New Orleans, with Kansas City, and with the Cowboys, seems to have found a home. 2nd down and 12 officially. Quick setup, Favre, Thompson. Todd Scott makes the tackle with Jack Del Rio's help. And that's a gain of 5. It'll mean a 3rd down and 7.
Now you see Favre will just drop it back about 3 steps and then have to find a receiver. But the good job right up front of that offensive line setting short. Favre knows that he's got a ticking time bomb in his hand. He's got to get rid of it before these guys in the purple shirts get to him.
3rd down and 7. Green Bay is 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions, and Brett Favre is 1 pass shy of perfect here in the first quarter. Backs are split, Sharp in motion. Favre for Sharp, incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Ball came in a little bit low to Sharp, but Favre was under some pressure and really made a heck of a sidearm throw.
Henry Thomas was there. And Anthony Parker is back to return the punt of Brian Wagner, not Harry Newsom. Newsom punts for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, we would have had a scoop there. A real advantage.
Part of the new labor contract to switch teams before the game. Parker. Wow. Jeff Brady, who is the captain of the special teams today. A 38-yard punt, 3 on the return. We are tied at 7 with 1:49 to go, first quarter.
Loss.
3rd down and 6. Final 35 seconds of the first quarter, 7-7 ball game. Salisbury with a straight drop, deep across the middle, first down at the 35. That's a gain of 11. And Joe Johnson picks up the first down.
And the one thing the Packers have to do if they're going to stop Salisbury and the Vikings today, they have to get some pressure on the quarterback. Only 33 sacks coming into the game, and so far today, Salisbury hasn't even been touched.
That is the end of the first quarter with our score. The Green Bay Packers under Mike Holmgren, 7. The Minnesota Vikings under Dennis Green, 7. Simplify the playoff picture, but it has been simplified because Washington lost yesterday. So in the NFC, Green Bay wins or ties, and they are in the playoffs. If they lose, the Washington Redskins are in.
And everybody here in Minnesota or at the hotel yesterday were watching that game, and Packer fans, of course, rooting for the Raiders, but the Vikings were rooting for the Raiders as well. They were not too impressed with the way Washington played. They wouldn't mind seeing them next week.
Roger Craig is high-load and dropped at the 37-yard line. Mike Tice was chatting with us down on the field before the game about the Redskins, and quite candidly said they wouldn't mind playing them here again. The two teams met here in the middle of the season, and the Redskins won that game. Washington sitting back in the nation's capital today with more than a small amount of interest on this game. Here's Salisbury. Anthony Carter. Across the 50 to the 47, a gain of 16 in front of Vinnie Clark.
This is the 5th pass for the Vikings so far, Vern, and again, just no pass rush at all out of the Packer front 7. And if you give Salisbury time to throw, he's going to start growing in his confidence, and Anthony Carter can still get it done at wide receiver.
1st and 10, Minnesota. Quick toss. Roger Craig forced back inside. He moves it down to the 43-yard line. George Kuntz, number 53, made the tackle. Eagles have gone on top of the Giants. Let's check in with Greg.
Vern, they did it with a nice pitch and catch play at the vet in Philadelphia. Watch Randall Cunningham from 34 yards out, and watch Calvin Williams on the receiving end. Extra point makes it 7-0. Eagles lead the Giants early second quarter, Vern.
2 big catches for Calvin Williams the last 2 weeks.
Had a huge one last week that provided the victory ultimately over the Washington Redskins. Terry Allen is back in the lineup. Quick drop, set up Anthony Carter, and Chuck Cecil Makes the initial contact on Carter. That's a gain of 6. It'll set up a 3rd and 1.
So often Carter will catch that quick hitch and spin to the outside. Of course, you don't have eyes behind your head, although some of these receivers seem like they do. Carter spun to the inside that time, and that's right where Cecil was, and kept him from picking up the first down.
Anthony Carter in his 8th year, now 32 years of age. 3rd and 1. Backs in the eye. Randall McDaniel in the backfield. Leads the way for Allen. He's got the first down. Randall McDaniel, the all-pro guard. And that may be the record. Let's see if officially he needed 55. He's got 58, and there is the all-time single-season rushing leader in the history of the Minnesota Vikings, Terry Allen. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, just his 2nd year out of Clemson. He was, at first, going to be remembered as the guy that replaced Herschel Walker. Well, he's got the record now for the Vikings.
1st and 10, Jordan in the backfield. Play action, Salisbury. Joe Johnson, heck of an effort. Incomplete. Buckley, the defender.
Packer defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes that time decided to come with a blitz against Salisbury, and it paid off for him as the pressure and tight coverage by Buckley forced that incompletion.
That applause you hear in the background is because the public address system has just announced that Terry Allen surpassed Chuck Foreman's single-season rushing record. And there it is, updated. Foreman and Ted Brown, the only other running backs in Minnesota history who have passed 1,000 yards. 2nd down. Allen gets the handoff. And doesn't get much on that carry. Dan, I read with interest in the local paper this morning a suggestion that maybe the Vikings could improve their lot if they called Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys and traded Terry Allen to Dallas for 5 players and 7 draft picks.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think the phone lines have been cut between here and there.
7-0 Denver on top of Kansas City. That one's simple as well. The winner is in, the loser is home. 3rd and 9. Short set, Salisbury, almost picked off. Oh my goodness.
It was almost picked off by not one Packer, not 2. There were 3 Packers that had a shot at this pass. Real bad decision by Salisbury trying to force this one in here. He has to take his time here and waits too long. There's 1, 2, and a 3rd Packer comes over. Tim Houck can't make the grab.
Fawad Reveiz will try a 51-yard field goal to break the tie. He's 3 of 4 from over 50 this year. Well, Mike Morris in the center of the ball, and he just got knocked backwards.
92 to defense.
Yeah, John Yurkovich for that encroachment, and he got his money's worth. He really drilled Morris. But this gives Reveiz a lot better shot at this field goal. 5 yards is very important when you're talking about kicking long field goals, because now Reveiz doesn't have to drive the ball as much. He can get more lift under it.
Come on, 32.
Officially called this one 46. Minnesota Vikings lead it 10-7. Green Bay, Washington, or Philadelphia, while New Orleans will be at home next week against either Philadelphia or Green Bay. We will know the answers to those puzzles by the end of play today. Minnesota has grabbed a 3-point edge over the Green Bay Packers, 11-23. Green Bay has played quite well in this building. Is one of the ironies of this confrontation. They have played here 9 previous times, and they've won 6. They have an edge over the Packers or the Vikings here in Minneapolis.
And they have all the world of motivation going for them today. A chance to get back into the playoffs for Green Bay.
Reyes, who kicked it off once and had that result in a touchback, will now try to do it again. This will be short. And taken back by Robert Brooks. Manages to counterpunch out to the 20-yard line. And Greg Minuski, who was just activated yesterday off of injured reserve, a longtime special team standout, is down to make the tackle, number 91.
Got a flag on the plate.
That's the first one today. Here's Dale Hamer.
Illegal use of hands, grabbing the face mask. 86 to the offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And they got the old toolbox, Ed West. Unusual call on a kickoff. Usually that's one of those illegal blocks. But here he is way out here. And he just reached out and pulled him down.
As a result, the ball has moved back inside the 10 to the 9. Packers have won 6 in a row. They needed help yesterday from the Los Angeles Raiders. They got it. They now have their control of their destiny for the first time this season. But they trail by 3. Barb Sharp. That's his 4th catch. He's knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Sterling Sharp chatted with us yesterday and tried to downplay the record.
I think what he's trying to, or that he's tired of, Vern, is all the attention. He says, hey, you know, I've led the league before in pass receptions. The thing about setting this record, people are starting to give me more attention, but he felt he deserved that attention all along. He needs one more, and you can move over Mr. Monk.
Second down. Harry Sidney. Todd Scott. Todd Scott, who is going to the Pro Bowl. Perhaps the biggest play of the season for the Minnesota Vikings came against the Chicago Bears when he returned to Jim Harbaugh. Audible pass into a touchdown. That began the turnaround. Minnesota came on and won that game 21-20 and have played quite well for the most part since.
Yeah, that interception, they were down 20-0 at the time. Who would have thunk it that they would have come back to win that game 21-20 and then go on to win their division. That was just the 4th or 5th game of the year.
3rd and 2. Blitz. Ron Lewis. Short of the first down.
Talk about Todd Scott going to the Pro Bowl. There's another Pro Bowler for the Vikings. Audrey McMillan, number 26, came up, made the play, kept Lewis from picking up the first down. There's Lewis in motion, left side. Watch McMillan now just break sharply. Perfect form tackle. And the Vikings force the punt.
Brian Wagner on to punt for the second time. And Anthony Parker waits for it. Minnesota should have excellent field position after this exchange. Up, bobbled the ball and got a lucky bounce right back up into his stomach. Chris Dolman downfield to help on the tackle. For the convoy, Minnesota's got the ball. Thing is wearing a look of concern when you're a cheesehead. I think those two fellows are doing so.
I think they smell a rat, and the rat's wearing purple. Looks like he made this one at home out of an old mattress.
Merry Christmas. Well, there are a bunch of them here.
Keep your hats on, boys.
Roger Craig is in the backfield. First down and 10 at the 46. Henderson gets the handoff and a quick 4 yards out near the 50-yard line. George Kuntz makes the tackle. Talked to Dennis Green yesterday about what motivation the Vikings might have in winning this game. He said that it's really important to Minnesota to establish its credentials throughout the league, that they want to be known as the best team in the Central Division.
And they want to win at home. They've only posted a 4-3 record at the Metrodome, 6-2 on the road, but he does not want to have a 500 record at home in his first year.
Play action, Salisbury with time. Pumps, lobs it deep, man wide open, Joey Johnson, and the pass was overthrown. Or Johnson pulled up.
You're not going to get better pass protection than this offensive line. It gives Salisbury this time. There is not a Viking, or a Packer rather, within 5 yards of Salisbury when he lets that ball go. Should have hit that wide open receiver, Joe Johnson.
At the 50, it'll be third down now. Minnesota 4 of 6 on third down conversions.
This is a real confident offensive line. 2 Pro Bowlers on the left side, McDaniel and Zimmerman. But Habib and Irwin are doing a great job on the right side, and Loudermilk is solid in the middle.
3rd and 6, Johnson in motion. Blitz, Salisbury, and Terry Allen moves it down to the 34-yard line. George Coons finally got the tackle.
Talk about Allen's running ability, but he's caught 48 passes this year, and it's a combination of receiver and runner. First he'll make Dent miss, and then Chuck Cecil will come up and miss. Great turn back to the inside right there. Now Cecil comes up looking for a big hit, and Allen makes the soon-to-be Pro Bowl player miss and pick up a first down.
Salisbury 5 of 10 for 61 yards. Terry Allen came in with 47 catches. Finally throws it away.
He's trying to set up the screen pass, so that's something that Holmgren said they had to be very concerned with. In that first game, Vikings just killed the Packers with the screen. That time, obviously, they were ready.
Just caught a glimpse of Chris Carter on the sideline. Chris, who was the leading receiver for this Minnesota team when he went on the injured reserve list with an injury. He will be eligible for reinstatement and will be reinstated on Monday. So he'll be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, he told me he could have played today because he's in that good a shape. Green wants to give him a little bit more time to get his conditioning down.
2nd and 10, 10-7. Vikings lead. 7:39 to go, first half. Salisbury, good downfield coverage. Finally fires the ball. Caught by Tice. This will be a touchdown. Mike Tice. His first touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings. He's had a heck of a 2-week span. He blocked a field goal last week in Pittsburgh. And the one-time 6'7" college quarterback is on the receiving end of a touchdown pass.
Played for a lot of years, Vern. This is his 12th season. That's only 10 touchdown catches for him. But no pass rush out of the Packers. Salisbury had a lot of time to move around and find Mike Tice.
Revez for the extra point. His 4th catch of the season, and Mike Tice.
Tice gets loose in the secondary, and Vinnie Clark is going to come up and try to make the tackle. He flies on out of bounds, and Mike Tice flies in for the score.
Tice with a 34-yard touchdown catch has given Minnesota a 17-7 lead. Now Revez will kick it off. Robert Brooks out to the 35-yard line.
This is going to be a 3-deep zone by the Packers. And watch Leroy Butler. His job is to stay out in the flat. But as Salisbury runs around and starts to come towards him, Butler will leave his coverage on Tice. And the safety is late coming over, Vinnie Clark. And it's an easy touchdown for the big tight end. defensive coach is obviously not happy with the performance of the Packers, giving up 17 points already.
First down and 10 at the 35. Farm intercepted. Picked off by Vincey Glenn. Minnesota ball at the 35 and 2 flags are thrown.
This is interception number 26 for the Vikings. They lead the NFL. And the flags came after the return.
Illegal block. Number 99 on the return. 10 yards. First down.
It's good pass pressure by the Viking front four and zone defense behind it. Glenn, number 25, is just going to sit back in his responsibility. Favre, throwing off balance, gets picked off. Al Noga's going to get called for the illegal block. And he's going to drill Frank Winters right in the back. Easy call for the officials. But why didn't number 103 make the call? It was right in front of him.
Esra Tuaolo is a former Green Bay Packer. He was a second-round draft pick by the Packers a year ago. Well, for Mike Holmgren and the Green Bay Packers, they need a tough defensive stand right now. They are down 17-7. Salisbury, right side, tipped away. Terrell Buckley intended for Jake Reed. There's Vincey Glenn. The Eagles have scored again. Let's find out how. We'll go back to New York. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Vern, Randall Cunningham will drop back, not find anyone. It has all kinds of room to roam, and that's trouble for the Giants. 21 yards and a touchdown. Philly leads at 14-0. If they win, they play their first playoff game at New Orleans next week, Vern.
All right, Greg, right here, Minnesota leads at 17-7. Salisbury. They got him. Tony Bennett.
That's that big play that they need, Vern. 13.5 sacks now for Tony Bennett. This one couldn't come at a better time. Right up the gut. He's going to just chase right after the quarterback. Nobody there to pick him up. This is a huge loss of 10 yards.
Brings up a third down and 20. Salisbury is 6 of 13 for 95 yards. And the Vikings are up 17-7. Into the flat for Terry Allen. And he is tackled and driven out of bounds by Tim Hawk. And it'll be fourth down.
There was no way Salisbury was even going to try and get that third down conversion through the short pass to Terry Allen, but that will set up his punter, Harry Newsom, with a chance to pin the Packers deep in their own end. Sometimes field position is more important than trying to take that chance and throwing the ball downfield for the first down.
Robert Brooks back at the 10-yard line. 6:09 to go first half. Vikings lead it 17-7. Nice and high. And Brooks with a fair catch at the 10-yard line. Fine punt by Harry Newsom. The Green Bay Packers moved for a touchdown on their opening series. Haven't done much since then.
Back is Theismann. Straight drop. Steps up. Fires it down the far side. He's got it complete to Monk. There's the record at the 30. He's down to the 20. Inside the 20 and out of bounds at the 17. Art Monk has just broken the National Football League record for receptions in a single season.
And, of course, Art Monk went on to catch 4 more for 106 for the year. Sterling Sharp is 1 away from his 107th catch. But in the meantime, during the entire time we were away, there was a discussion about a late flag that was thrown. It took better than 90 seconds. And finally, they have decided to re-kick, and we've not been told yet what the infraction was.
Some type of illegal procedure against the Vikings. And that nullifies a wonderful punt by Newsom that had the Packers inside their own 10-yard line.
And Dale Hamer never did get on the microphone and explain what the flag was. But we will re-kick it. And it's a dandy by Newsom, but will be returned. To the 23-yard line for Robert Brooks. That's the return of 15. Now Sterling Sharp and the Green Bay Packers offense head back on the field.
He's been compared to Jerry Rice for obvious reasons, the numbers, of course, but also the fact that he's the focal point of the offense. And I think he's quite pleased to have the record within his grasp so that he can say, now Jerry has to chase something that I'm doing.
Cincinnati over Indianapolis 17-0. And the Packers will have the ball at the 24-yard line.
These are the type of routes that Sharp will run. These are the possession receiver routes. But when you combine Sharp's running ability, all these routes seem to go that way after he makes the grab. You know, I think his best route, Vern, may be this hook route, because he can look back at the quarterback and see him and then make his move to get up the field. But I tell you what, he can do it all. And wearing these straps behind his helmet, you see these right here? That's a safety precaution for him. That keeps his head from going too far down. They're attached to the back of his shoulder pads.
One-time high school quarterback is on the verge of setting a single-season record for catches in a season. Here's Favre rolling out. Fires it for Ron Lewis. That's a Packer first down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 21.
And Vincey Glenn just drilled Lewis down to this hard artificial turf, and Lewis has to go out of the game. Nice job of Favre moving around, buying that time in the pocket, and Lewis got open.
First down at the 45-yard line. Favre is now 10 of 13 for 105 yards. But he was picked off on the last possession by Vincey Glenn. They look for Sharp. There's the record. Sterling Sharp. We'll pause for a moment. Congratulations, young man. Well done.
And right in front of the Viking bench, you see all the Viking players congratulating him. And the Sharpometer goes to 107. It's an unbelievable accomplishment. Just the numbers alone. But when you look at the players that are surrounding him, his teammates, just not getting the support from his other receivers. It's an out route by Sharp. Favre is under pressure, throws it nicely, and Favre never saw the completion, but he was flat on his back.
Here's the delicious irony in all of this. He caught it right in front of Carl Lee, who is one of his best friends. .107 in a single season.
And the guy that threw over 90 of those, Brett Favre, that's a nice hug from Sterling Sharp.
Not enough for the first down. Packers have the ball at the 45-yard line.
Question is now, how many will he get? A lot of game left.
That may not be enough for the first down.
Now, I think he's short, Vern. And this will bring up an interesting decision for Holmgren. That is a classic situation where you might want to play action, fake that one, and go up top. He has that option now.
The third and a foot. Jenkins is out. Van Waiters is in for the Minnesota Viking defense. be enough to give them the first down.
We're approaching 3.5 minutes to go in the first half, and it'll be real important for the Packers to get on the board with either a field goal or a touchdown before halftime. They've been a little bit shocked by the way the Vikings have moved the ball on offense against their defense.
17-7 with 3:20 remaining first half. Favre, off balance, tries to find Jackie Harris, and he's held up by Mike Merriweather. Favre under heavy pressure from Carlos Jenkins, number 51.
Favre is going to be the eye of the hurricane here, Vern. Watch all these purple shirts around him. He's got no place to go and gets drilled from the back by Jenkins and the front by Dolman. Good job of getting rid of it, though.
2nd and 10. 3:14 remaining first half. Draw play to Sidney. Nowhere to go. Jack Del Rio makes sure of that.
These teams know each other very well. Obviously, both head coaches have worked together in San Francisco for so long. That's that San Francisco wraparound draw that the Vikings and Jack Del Rio. Watch Del Rio, 55. He wasn't fooled at all. Favre goes back and slips it to Sidney, and there's Del Rio for another tackle.
3rd down and 12 after the loss of 2. Blitz. Favre gets away from Dolman. Finds Jackie Harris. Incomplete. It hit the ground.
This is an unbelievably athletic throw by Favre. Just couldn't quite get enough on it as Dolman was closing quickly. And Harris can't get his hands underneath it. Ball goes right through his hands and hits the turf. That would have been a huge play for the Packers and young Brett Favre.
Instead, it's a 4th down. And Brian Wagner is on to punt for the 3rd time. Anthony Parker waits at the 10. Nice and high. And it scoots into the end zone. Touchback. Vikings get the ball with 2:03 to go first half. And they have it at their own 20-yard line. Well, coming up Thursday at 2:30 Eastern Time, the John Hancock Bowl from El Paso. Dan and I will be down there for that one. Grant Teaff's final appearance as the head coach of the Baylor Bears. And on New Year's Day, it's the Blockbuster Bowl, Penn State and Stanford, New Year's Day at 1:30 Eastern Time. Right now, it's a 1st and 10 Minnesota. Final play before the 2-minute warning. To the 29. Minnesota Vikings have been impressive, and they lead the Green Bay Packers 17-7. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Be right back.
The John Hancock Bowl. The
first half, the Minnesota Vikings playing in the Dome, leading 17-7. Easy to sometimes develop a bunker mentality in here, isn't it?
Well, not for you, but I have a few problems here.
See, there are advantages to being a man of average height. 2nd down and 1. And it's Terry Allen, who was closing in on 70 yards for the first half of play. They'll go without the huddle with 1:44 remaining in the half. Salisbury Deep right side, Joe Johnson, and a flag.
Yeah, they're going to get Cecil for leading with the crown of his helmet on Joe Johnson. Yeah, this is a good call by the officials. They got to do something to keep the players from using the top of the helmet as a weapon. And this is the best way of doing it. Call it when it happens on the field.
Personal foul. Number 26 on the defense. 15 yards to the previous spot.
Ball is overthrown. Now Cecil lowers his head and drills it into the back of Joe Johnson's head. Both men could have been seriously injured on that play. That's the reputation that Cecil has. He's a hard-nosed player, but he's got to realize that that is a dangerous play. He's catching an earful from the Viking sideline right now.
And he got flagged 15 yards. Chuck Cecil, who is going to his first Pro Bowl at the end of the season. First down and 10, Salisbury draw play. Terry Allen to the 44-yard line. 90 seconds remaining in the first half. Carl Carter makes the tackle. There's Chuck Cecil, valedictorian of his high school class. All-around outstanding student at Arizona. Salisbury deep left. Joe Johnson diving catch, or diving try. It's incomplete.
And you wonder what the effect of the hit that Cecil just put on Johnson had on that play. It appeared Johnson could have made that grab as he lays out for it. Not that poorly thrown by Salisbury. But you know that Cecil's coming. There he is, number 26. But Salisbury hasn't made it real easy for his receivers here in the first half, and he's been getting outstanding pass protection from his O-line.
3rd and 3, Minnesota at the Green Bay 44. Johnson has the first down. George Kuntz makes the tackle at the 36.
Johnson's got to be saying, finally I got one that I can catch. That's his second of the day, and a big third down conversion on this hurry-up offense drive.
Flag is down. The ball is tipped. Incomplete. Terry Allen diving for it. Leroy Butler over his back. It was Bryce Popp who got a hand up on the ball. A lot of things happening on that play.
And they were all bad for Minnesota.
Illegal motion, offense. The line was not set. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Moves it back to the 42.
And although it's a 5-yard penalty against the Vikings, it actually works in their favor because it stops the clock and it saves the Vikings from having to use a timeout. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Had to use one earlier, so they've got 2. Catch is made at the 19. Now Salisbury will use one of the 2 remaining. Stops the clock with 44 seconds to go.
We talked about how solid Kirk Loudermilk has been at center. Watch as he's going to pick up this blitz that they were beat on earlier by Tony Bennett. Gives his quarterback a nice throwing lane as Salisbury steps up into the pocket. But remember that big sack that Bennett got earlier in this quarter came right up the middle. That time Loudermilk was ready for him. Looks like a center, doesn't he?
He does. Talk about the tradition of the Vikings at that spot. Mick Tingelhoff, long-time center, Pro Bowler. He gave way ultimately to Dennis Swilly and then Kirk Loudermilk. Those are the 3 men who have dominated at that position.
You wonder about the Packers' ability to come back. If they give up a touchdown here, it'll be 24-7, a 17-point deficit. They have the offense to get it done, but they'll be having to throw it every time in the second half. And now you expose your quarterback to that great pass rush of the Purple Gang.
At the 19 with 44 seconds left. Salisbury off his back foot. Incomplete, intended for Jake Reed. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. 41 seconds to go before halftime.
I think we're looking at the Viking quarterback for the entire playoffs, or for ever long the Vikings will be in the playoffs. Salisbury has done a good job of leadership. His numbers haven't been impressive, but he hasn't had the critical turnover, except the one against the Eagles a couple of weeks back. Very reluctant to force the ball downfield.
2nd and 10. Steve Jordan at the 15-yard line. Tackle made by Terrell Buckley. Final 30 seconds of the half. And on 3rd down, Vikings will stop the clock.
Boy, that's a real mistake by Salisbury.
No kidding.
Killing the clock with an incomplete pass and killing the 3rd down. Now he's given Green no other choice now but to go for the field goal.
He had a timeout left.
God, he had a lot of time to run a regular play. He could have audibled something at the line of scrimmage and given his team a chance to convert for the 1st down or go for a touchdown. By killing the clock there, he kills his team's chances of getting a touchdown. And that all is being explained to him by Tom Moore and Dennis Green. The only thing worse than doing that is killing it on 4th down.
And I've seen that before. 32-yard field goal attempt for Fawad Reveiz. (18 of 23 for the season. Flag is down, kick is good. Now, if it's offside Green Bay, I don't think it'll be enough to give Minnesota a 1st down. It was 4th and 6.
25. We have the defense offside, number 25. With the penalty, it'll be 1 yard short. Offside, defense, number 25, penalty declined, kick is good.
Vinnie Clark offside. The kick was good, and the Vikings will take the 3 points.
And this is key, that it's only a 13-point lead. That just means that with 2 scores and 2 conversions for the Packers, they can go ahead. And psychologically, that is a big play there. Salisbury's downing the ball, stopping the clock on 3rd down. That's a bonehead play by Sean Salisbury.
He's trying to explain it now to Mike Tice and Rich Gannon.
And Tice said, don't worry about it. We got the 3 points. And that is good that they did get the 3 points. They've been unstoppable in this 1st half.
In week 1 of the playoffs, the 49ers and the Cowboys have earned a bye. They get the week off. Minnesota will host either Green Bay, Washington, or Philadelphia as the NFC Central Division champion. The New Orleans Saints are the lead wild card team. They will be at home against either Philadelphia or Green Bay. And all of that will be straightened out before the afternoon is complete.
Very impressive 1st half for the Vikings and rather disappointing 1st half for Green Bay. They were high as a kite watching that game yesterday in Washington as the Raiders came back to beat the Redskins.
Reveiz will kick it off. Corey Harris and Robert Brooks are the deep men. It's a squib kick. And Green Bay recovers at the 40-yard line. Coming up, the NFL Today halftime report. Greg and Terry will have the scores and highlights and the latest playoff information. And John Madden will visit with Mike Singletary aboard the Madden Cruiser as Mike prepares for the last NFL game of his playing career. And how nice that it'll come if not in Chicago, at least in his home state, and only 100 miles up the road from where he was so brilliant in his collegiate career at Baylor University. First down and 10 from the 40. 22 seconds left. Favre goes left. And the catch is made by Sanjay Beach. He does get out of bounds to stop the clock after a 7-yard gain. You know, to put in perspective the accomplishment of Sterling Sharpe, who now has 107 catches, the second leading wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers is Sanjay Beach, and he's got 17.
It just blows my mind that defenses haven't been able to find a way of stopping Sharpe. Nobody's done it so far this year, not getting a whole lot of help from his other receivers.
2nd and 3. Favre, Sidney. That's a first down. They've got 10 seconds left and will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
That's a case there where Sidney's struggling trying to get extra yards, and he's actually costing his team time. As soon as you get contact by the defenders, you got to learn when to go down, call timeout, and give your team as much time as possible. Packers have time now for perhaps one completion to give Jackie a chance at a long field goal.
Brett Favre, who said he almost cried when he learned that he had been named to the Pro Bowl team. And he is joined by Sterling Sharpe and by Chuck Cecil.
Favre was in the team meeting. He's kind of a jokester on the team, was wearing a Santa's hat. Obviously in the spirit of Christmas, and felt a little embarrassed that here he is going to the Pro Bowl after so many of his teammates have labored in Green Bay for so many years and haven't been invited. Gets it in his very first year, not even a complete year.
Chuck Cecil will join him, as will Sterling Sharpe. Brett Favre saying last night, a year ago at this time, he was a third-string quarterback for Atlanta and not even close to playing. That'll be incomplete with 4 seconds left.
A lot of pressure that time by Chris Dolman. Favre continues to escape him, but chances of doing that all day aren't real good. Dolman comes in with 14.5 sacks. And Dolman's getting held on the play. There he is at the top of the screen. That's Ken Rutgers, number 75. And he's got his hands on Dolman's shoulder and prevents him from getting to the quarterback.
Now the final play of the first half. Alley-oop, incomplete. And that is the end of the first half of play with our score, the Minnesota Vikings 20 and the Green Bay Packers 7, which leaves the Washington Redskins smiling.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1993 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. Budweiser, the king of beers with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by Hoffa, starring Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito, now playing in theaters everywhere.
His 26th touchback of 1992. At the half, statistically, it wound up thusly. Minnesota with an edge in just about everything and an overwhelming edge in rushing yardage.
That's really something the Packers have to shore up, because if they have to pass every time, although Favre has not been sacked yet, this group of Viking defensive linemen are heading, they want to lead the league in sacks. They know they have to get 7 to do that to overtake New Orleans.
First and 10. There's one. John Randall. That is 11.5 for John Randall this year.
Yeah, and here he is right here. He's going to loop to the outside and get in on Favre, and there's just a 5-step drop, and that's really outstanding quickness by Randall as he gets by Ron Hallstrom.
John Teerlink is his coach, and John said yesterday they talk a lot about Keith Millard and what he meant to the Viking defense. He said, I think John Randall is playing this position every bit as well as Millard did when he was here. 2nd and 15. Favre for Sharp. That's his 6th catch of the day and 108 for the season.
And you wonder just how many passes Sharp has caught on this route. Here he is down to the inside. The key is the back. They'll swing to the outside, and that will create the throwing lane for the quarterback. A small one, but Favre gets it in there to Sharp.
3rd down and 4 after the 11-yard pickup. Out of the backfield, Sterling Sharp, and it's almost picked off by Todd Scott. Todd Scott, who was picked off 5 this year. We talked about Brett Favre. Well, he and Todd Scott competed against each other collegiately for 4 years. Todd Scott, who is from Galveston Ball High School, went to Southwest Louisiana. And the two men talked yesterday of their common respect for each other. They wound up 2-2. Southern Mississippi won 2 games, and Southwest Louisiana won 2.
It's funny, Scott says he picked Favre off twice. Favre couldn't remember him.
Right. Anthony Parker at the 25. Jeff Brady makes the stop. And the Minnesota Vikings will have the football at their own 34-yard line.
And that was the worst possible start for the Packers to come out after halftime, go 3 plays and out. But a lot of it has to do with the way this man's defensive line played. This is John Teerlink, the defensive line coach. Not bad. The first play, you get your first sack of the game coming out from halftime.
Former teammate of yours, right?
Yeah, he played a year and a half in San Diego. Got 6.5 sacks. Got Greasy once. Charlie Johnson, James Harris, John Huffnagel. He told me all about it yesterday.
Terry Allen fumble. Minnesota got it back. Mike Tice.
Boy, Mike Tice is figuring up big the last 2 weeks. This may be as big as his field goal block or his touchdown reception earlier today. Allen's fumbled a few times too many for the Vikings this year. And it's Chuck Cecil going in low and knocking the ball out. And a nice big hop for Tice. He gets it waist level.
That is the 9th fumble this season for Terry Allen. Lost 7. Gets the handoff and comes left. And is driven back at the 48-yard line by Matt Brock, number 62.
You see that type of play, Vern, and you just know things are bouncing right for you. If you're a Viking fan, huge hop right up into Tice's hands.
For the day, 93 yards. He has 2 efforts of 100 plus. The beginning of the season, 140 against Green Bay, and 172 last week. Salisbury. Tice. Burnell Dent makes the tackle, a yard short of the first down for the Minnesota Vikings. Giants have scored. They trail by 14, and Kansas City increases its lead over the Denver Broncos.
It appears Schottenheimer is finally going to beat John Elway.
Hadn't done it much.
No, and he only has a 14-point lead, and there's a lot of time left in that one.
He is 1-9 coaching against John Elway, both in Cleveland and Kansas City. 31. Allen, flag. If the play stands, it'll be a first down. It might come back.
Thrown by the umpire, and the signal is holding against the Vikings. Packers were crowding the line of scrimmage with 8 men, trying to force something, and they did with the holding call.
Holding, number 63 of the offense, 10 yards. Repeat third down.
It's an 8-man front for the Packers. You can see him right there. Here's Loudermilk. The play goes to the outside. He's going to reach out and take down. And the call goes against Minnesota.
John Yurkovich, and that'll make it a 3rd and 11. Minnesota, look at the outstanding third down conversion rate thus far. Joe Johnson in motion. Blitz is coming. Good protection. Man coverage down the right side. Jake Reed. Touchdown. That's his first.
Is trying to stay composed on the sidelines, but he's got to be burning up. They came with the all-out blitz against Salisbury, and he delivered to the first-year man out of Grambling, Jake Reed. Watch the pressure. Cecil's coming 26. Great job by Allen picking him up at the line of scrimmage, and that's why this ball is complete for the touchdown. Behind Terrell Buckley and just barely in for the score.
As a matter of fact, they've taken away the touchdown. One official ruled touchdown, and now they've taken it away. And they have called the ball dead at the 1-foot line.
Denny Green can't believe it. I can't believe it either.
I can't either.
Great concentration by Reed. See the positioning of the officials here. And the official that signaled touchdown was 5 yards behind Reed when he hit the goal line.
See the side judge with his arms up, but he was overruled. 1st and goal. 2nd and goal. Randall McDaniel leading the way.
Check out just how close Reed got to the end zone. Well, I think that's a touchdown. Tough to see from that angle, but it appeared he had the ball right on the goal line when he hit the ground.
2nd and goal now. Of that, there is no doubt. Randall McDaniel leads him through, and Terry Allen gets another 6. The smiles have grown a little bit wider in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, a couple of guys sitting around the bar back there watching the game. You got to be real happy with the outcome of this one so far. Almost a 20-point lead.
Terry Allen gets his 13th touchdown of 1992. The Minnesota Vikings are up by 20th touchdown and found her in the end zone. Nice moment.
Yeah, and I hope that the league realizes that he didn't throw that to just anyone. He threw it to his sister, and perhaps they won't fine him for that.
There is some suit back in the league office who's going to think about a $1,000 fine. There's Corey Harris. He's out to the 22-yard line. And Todd Scott mixes it up. Well, it has not gone well for the Green Bay Packers. They scored on their opening possession to take a 7-0 lead, and it has been downhill ever since. They need 21 to take the lead. 10:16 to go, third quarter. Maybe getting away from the Green Bay Packers. Things are a little fuzzier than they wanted. They came in control, a victory, and they're in the playoffs. They had won 6 in a row, but now they have fallen behind the Minnesota Vikings by 20.
You almost wonder if they expected to be in this position 2 days ago. On Friday when they practiced, they were loose, they got their work done, and then they got a heck of a Christmas present yesterday when the Raiders beat the Redskins. But they're letting it slip away now.
1st and 10, 27-7. Sterling Sharp comes right. Handoff goes to the 25-yard line. Al Noga makes the tackle of Darrell Thompson. Thompson's 5th carry, but only for 7 yards. The Packers with 11 yards rushing in the ballgame.
That's on 9 carries, and even I can figure out that's just over 1 yard a try.
2nd down and 7. Favre to the 30-yard line. Catch is made by Ed West, who is now a backup tight end, having given way to Jackie Harris. That's only Ed West's 4th catch this season. And he is quickly out on 3rd down and 2.
And the Vikings now will bring in their nickel coverage, but the first 2 downs of this possession, they played with their straight 4-3 defense. When you've got a pass rush, as the Vikings do, you can afford to keep your normal personnel in the game.
3rd and 2, Thompson, 1st down at the 36. Todd Scott, number 38, makes the tackle.
It's going to be very difficult for the Packers to mount a comeback in this game for a couple of reasons. The pass rush, number 1 of the Vikings, is outstanding, but behind it, they can drop 7 men into coverage, play very loose zone defenses with all the defensive backs looking at Favre and breaking on the ball when he puts it in the air.
See if Brett Favre does choose to pass on 1st and 10. Blitz. Favre out of his hand, recovered by the Packers, but 2 flags are down. Tootie Robbins grabbed the football.
The play is ruled a fumble. We now have a foul.
And the fumble was recovered by Tootie Robbins. But the speed of the pass rush of the Vikings is just awesome. Favre is going to fake the ball to Thompson, and then by the time he gets out of the fake, he's going to be surrounded by purple shirts, and this ball just comes flying out of the back of his hand there and heads up by Tootie, getting the fumble recovery.
Defensive holding was the call, so the conversation continues. Pretty alert play by Tootie Robbins.
Yards, holding, 1st down.
You talk about a huge call against the Vikings. I was going to bring up about a 2nd and 25 situation, but now it'll be 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Might have been a holding in the interior of the line trying to free up one of those blitzing linebackers. Or it could be on the fake to Thompson. Watch as he comes through. Henry Thomas sees him, thinks he has the ball, makes the tackle, and there's the flag. That's a bad call by the official. You got to give the player, the defensive player, a benefit of the doubt on that situation.
And that call results, as Dan said, in a 1st down. Here's Favre out to the 46-yard line. The catch is made by Jackie Harris.
I mean, Henry Thomas is getting blocked. He's getting spun around. He sees the ball carrier coming. He tackles him. That's not defensive holding.
Henry Thomas would certainly agree with you.
Let's take a look at him one more time. Watch, he's going to be being blocked by Hallstrom. He spins out of that move. Here comes the ball carrier, he thinks, and he makes the tackle.
And he got flagged for it. 2nd and 5. Favre short of the 1st down. Darrell Thompson, who played collegiately, of course, here in the Metrodome for the University of Minnesota. And he comes up at the 49, leaving a third and 2 or a long one.
So much of this offense of Holmgren's is predicated on throwing short passes to running backs or receivers and then having them run for the yardage. And that's what Favre is going to have to do. Very difficult to try and get a deep one against this deep zone the Vikings will be playing.
Third and 2. 6:34 remaining in the ball game.
Again, Del Rio's going to benefit from the help up front he gets from Thomas and Randall. He's on a run blitz, 55. Watch the hole he gets. There's too many men for the Packers to block. Winters comes over too late, and it's the team speed of the Vikings that is taking control of this game.
That's a loss of 6. Fourth down. Brian Wagner is on. 5:50 remaining in the ball game. Anthony Parker, fair catch at the 10-yard line. Been quite an afternoon for Jack Del Rio and his Viking defensive teammates. Axiom in the league that defense will get you a long way in the playoffs, and here's the way they stack up among playoff teams in points allowed per game. New Orleans leads the way, and they threw a shutout yesterday. But the Minnesota Vikings playing well today, and John Teerlink, the defensive line coach, chatting with his troops on the sideline.
And you know, although John only played a year and a half in the NFL before he went down with a real bad knee injury, he did play defensive line. And the thing that Henry Thomas told me the other day, he said, John Teerlink thinks like we do. And for a ball player to have a coach like that is very important. I was amazed. I didn't think defensive guys thought at all, Vern.
I didn't even have to set you up with that one. 1st and 10. Roger Craig out to the 12-yard line. Well, you know John Teerlink much, much better than I do, but he said yesterday that in order to get mentally prepared for a game, he watches the Magnificent Seven 3 or 4 times a week.
He doesn't have much of a life outside of football, I guess. He's seen them all. The Return of the Magnificent Seven, the Guns of, Fistful of Seven, all those spaghetti western.
2nd down. Salisbury. Steve Jordan appears to be just short of the 1st down near the 20-yard line.
That was a nice play selection by Jack Burns. He knows that the Packers have to create a turnover. The way you do that is you crowd the line of scrimmage, you blitz people. That time Salisbury rolled away from pressure and delivered a nice pass to his tight end.
4:40 remaining 3rd quarter.
And the Vikings are one of the best teams in the league at 3rd down conversions.
And they are 7 of 10 today. Eight of 11 today.
This is the all-pro side of this offensive line for the Vikings. McDaniel and Zimmerman. That's a huge, huge hole.
And it results in the 1st down and 10 at the 26-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go. Henry Thomas, Randall McDaniel, and Gary Zimmerman, the starters in the Pro Bowl. Joe Johnson starts to the right. Henderson gets the handoff and works his way out to the 30. Rich Gannon, starter for most of the year, struggled in the latter part, gave way to Sean Salisbury.
And although Denny Green won't name his quarterback for the playoffs, he kind of whispered to us yesterday, winked a little bit, and said, I think we all know who my quarterback's going to be. That guy right there.
Who at the age of 29 is getting his 3rd start in the National Football League.
He's thrown 3 touchdown passes today in each of the three have been outstanding plays by a quarterback.
On the line, Johnson. First down at the 43. A gain of 13.
See, I'm giving him credit for that long one they didn't give Jake Reed. I don't care what the officials say. As a quarterback, hey, that's as close as you can get for a touchdown.
I'd like to see you argue that call if it meant the difference in a bonus payment in your contract at the end of the year.
Boy.
And it sometimes could, right?
Well, not in this job I'm doing now, but in that old job I had, I'd certainly be yelling.
Allen is back in. At the 45-yard line, Terry Allen. Bryce Popp, number 95, makes the stop. 2:10 remaining third quarter.
Packers look a little bewildered on the sideline. But the Vikings wanted to come out and settle their dominance in this NFC Central Division and put the Packers back where the Vikings think they belong.
Jordan, who came out of the backfield to make the catch. That's his 5th of the game. Chuck Cecil made the tackle. Well, it's been a magic ride for the Green Bay Packers for the last 6 weeks. It may come to an end today.
Yeah, this offensive line is in control now, both run blocking and pass blocking. There's Loudermilk, 63 there on the right side. And McDaniel, Zimmerman with the great cut block that allows Salisbury to see his receiver.
3rd and 2. Blitz, reverse. Nifty move by Joe Johnson, first down.
Joe Johnson's 5'8", 170, and he's going to be staring right at 6'2", 245-pound Tony Bennett right about here. It says, take this quickness. Great move, and another first down for Minnesota. Tony Bennett's got to go pick up some equipment, doesn't he?
I will avoid comparisons with leaving his heart anywhere. First down and 10. Terry Allen with Jordan in front, and Allen closing in on a 100-yard rushing day inside the 40. And we have run the final play of the third quarter. That's the end of the third quarter. It's been all Minnesota. Our score at the end of 3, the Minnesota Vikings 27, the Green Bay Packers 7. In suburban Washington, D.C., the interested spectators.
There you go.
Gary Clark, Terry Orr, Ricky Sanders. 15 minutes away from knowing whether they might be coming to Minnesota to take on the Vikings in the first round of the playoffs next week.
A lot of 99-cent specials where they're at, Vern. They're getting their money's worth today.
Philadelphia leading 17-3 in the fourth quarter. Here's Roger Craig. And he's tackled at the 32-yard line. Well, if things stand as they now exist, if it stays this way, Minnesota winning here and Philadelphia winning, then next weekend, the Vikings will be at home to the Washington Redskins, and the Philadelphia Eagles will be in the Dome in New Orleans to take on the Saints. Kansas City, if they win, they are in. Pittsburgh continues to lead Cleveland. Run blitz, Craig goes left. And will be caught short of the first down at the 31-yard line by Brian Noble, number 91.
That's a big tackle by John Noble. He's the emotional leader of these Packers. And he came up with a big play there. Brian Noble, of course, coming back from that scary back injury earlier this year. the Vikings are going to go for it on 4th and 1. They have absolutely nothing to lose by doing this. Going to put McDaniel at fullback.
Maybe they'll throw the ball to Randall McDaniel.
No, I doubt it. Although he's ready for it.
Yeah, they do, and they've got to call timeout. The game clock had run down, so Salisbury uses one of the 3 timeouts. Randall McDaniel caught a pass as the tight end in high school. He's been waiting for the opportunity in the NFL. The play's in, but I doubt they'll use it.
Domino's Pizza, cordially and
Mike Holmgren's coaching staff, Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator, looking away from us now in the center of the screen, and defensively, his men have got to do something.
And they have not done it on this drive. 7 minutes and 9 seconds already in this one drive have been eaten up by the Vikings.
Now the 12th play of the drive, 4th and 1 at the 32. I don't think he got it. Close. Burnell Dent led the way defensively.
Packers offense is already on the field, just waiting for this signal by Dale Hamer.
Short, first down the other way.
Here's Burnell Dent right here. He's going to come over to this side and make the play. He mirrors the running back Allen and just drills him. And that is a big play for a team that needs it.
We'll return to the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers facing a Viking defense that features a trio of fresh linebackers now. Ed McDaniel, Greg Minuski, and Van Waiters are in the lineup. 1st and 10, Green Bay. Favre back. Pumps and goes deep into double coverage for Sterling Sharp, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Vincey Glenn, his 2nd of the day. Harry Sidney knocks him out of bounds. And Mike Holmgren quickly off the sideline, and there's a fracas at the 37-yard line.
Well, after the interception, one of the Viking linemen went out and took a shot at Favre. Something that some defensive coaches coach, because they know the first guy that knows it's intercepted is always the quarterback. Holmgren saw it, and he's irate. Favre trying to make something happen with his star receiver, Sterling Sharp, but it's Vincey Glenn from the left side of the field is going to range all the way over to the middle of the field and make an outstanding interception. Sharp with the push-off there, but Scott had perfect position, and Vincey Glenn comes up with his 4th interception of the year.
Mike Holmgren is not happy with whatever explanation he's being given by Dale Hamer.
Well, Hamer's telling him that it's against the Packers because it's the second guy in the fight that always seems to get called. Wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't yet young Favre or one of his offensive linemen trying to protect him.
Personal foul, low block on the return, number 4, first down.
It is on Brett Favre.
And a low block. Now, why would he be called for blocking on the return? The other team had the ball. They were returning it. Favre just looking to protect himself and take out the interference of Vincey Glenn. That is a real strange call by the officials.
And after all of that, it's first down. Roger Craig barrels over right tackle inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. That looked like a pretty effective block, Dan.
Well, you've got these big guys coming after you trying to block you. And Favre, trying to clear the interference and also protect himself, took the low road. Very unusual call.
12:45 remaining in regulation play. 27-7. And a second down and 3. Vincey Glenn with 2 interceptions for the afternoon. And the Vikings have a second down. Greg caught behind the line and dropped at the 23-yard line. Philadelphia leading New York when last we checked. Let's go back and hear from Greg Gumbel.
Glad you're checking back. Vern at Philadelphia. The Giants have worked their way back in from 13 yards out, 4th and 3. Jeff Hostetler, Ed McCaffrey, who will land on his head. That's a touchdown. McCaffrey is okay. 17-10 Eagles. 9.5 to play in the 4th. Vern.
All right, Greg, 27-7 is our score, and we're under the 12-minute mark now. Vincey Glenn, 2 interceptions in the ball game today. 3rd down and 3, Minnesota. They load up on the left side. Now Anthony Carter comes in motion back right. Blitz. Salisbury. Deep for Johnson. Incomplete. Carl Carter defending.
Yeah, you're looking at Vincey Glenn, Vern. He's another ex-teammate of mine from San Diego, and he played for New Orleans last year. And I asked him, obviously, who has the better defense, the Vikings or the Saints? He said, well, obviously the Saints linebackers are outstanding. All 4 of them are going to the Pro Bowl. But Vincey feels that overall defense, the Vikings have the better one because of the front 4 and the way that they can combine their zone coverages and come up with interceptions.
Well, Denny Green feels like his defense will lead the way as they go into the playoffs. And obviously very happy with the play they're playing right now. Here's Reveus. No good. Wide to the left. Nevertheless, the Minnesota Vikings lead 7-7. The Minnesota Vikings dominating the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers and Dallas, of course, have first-round byes. As it now stands, it looks like Minnesota will host the Washington Redskins. And it would appear if Philadelphia holds on to defeat New York that they will go down to New Orleans. However, it's 17-10 Philadelphia. That game tightening up a little bit. Here's Favre across the middle for Jackie Harris, his tight end, at the 28-yard line. Mike Tice.
He's checking his list twice, seeing who's naughty and nice. A couple days late, Mike.
Look at the total yardage difference. Here's Harry Sidney to the 32-yard line.
Packers are forced into the hurry-up offense here, Vern. They're going to take every play from the line of scrimmage now. And remember, they're working with virtually a rookie quarterback in this situation against a veteran defense.
3rd and 1. There's a catch made by Sharp. A flag is down, and Sterling Sharp might get caught with offensive pass interference here.
Yeah, Vern, you called it. Look at the reaction of Sharp. Pushed off on Lee and caught it right over the top of his head.
Holding. Offense number 84. 10-yard penalty for the previous play.
Out to the right side. Sharp just holds on to Lee and gets the flag.
Sterling Sharp and Carl Lee, as we mentioned in the first half, are best friends. And that time the advantage goes to Carl Lee. They met each other in Sterling Sharp's rookie year, and he said the second time they played late in the season, Carl Lee would congratulate him on a move he made or a catch he made. He said that was an unusual thing to have happen in the league. They later played in the Pro Bowl together and hung around together. They became very, very good friends and then went into business together.
They're in close business right now.
3rd and 11. Oh, nice try.
Favre Sharp had every inch of that sideline measured and was just a little bit too far out of bounds. I guess the ball hit the ground is what the official was saying. But watch the layout. This is just beautiful to watch. See where the ball is, and does he control it? Ball hits the ground. His feet were in, but the official didn't give it to him.
4th down. Parker at the 35. Parker at the 40. And Brian Noble made the tackle. Sterling Sharp is still arguing his case. Doesn't he know I just set a record? That is an ugly combination. We're back to play, 1st down and 10. Salisbury to Terry Allen. And he is knocked down at the 41-yard line. Sterling Sharp, during the timeout, continued his conversation with Don Wedge, the side judge.
And then watch number 38, Adrian White, come in and say, man, don't you know that is Sterling Sharp? And if you notice this right here, Vern, that's a fork in the cheese. This one's over. Put a fork in the Packers. Their history.
Somewhere in here there's a fat lady singing, I guess. Play action, Salisbury. Right side, Steve Jordan. He's had a big, big day. And he adds to it 15 yards with his 6th catch of the afternoon.
And this was a great throw by Salisbury. And at the end of the play, the size difference of Jordan over Buckley is what makes the difference in this completion. Play fake and the protection is very nice, but the throw is right on the money. And watch Jordan reach for it. And Buckley at 5'9" isn't big enough to knock it away.
1st down at the 45. Tackle made by Matt Brock. Well, such high hopes this morning for the Green Bay Packers of victory, and they were in the playoffs and completing a marvelous season. It still has been a wonderful year for Mike Holmgren and the folks of Wisconsin.
And it's not over yet. There's 8.5 minutes to go. He ought to be thinking about using his timeouts here.
But I thought you said the fork was in the cheese.
I never give up, though, Vern.
Salisbury, Novoselsky, the tight end, to the 10-yard line. Brent Novoselsky. That's only his 4th catch of the season. Wow, what a trio of tight ends we've had today.
This is that Washington Redskin type of offense. All these guys over here are tight ends. Novoselsky and Tice are in there. And Novoselsky gets open down the seam. And Cecil comes over with a big hit, but a little bit late.
Steve Jordan with 6 catches, Mike Tice with his 1st touchdown, and Brent Novoselsky with that 34-yard gain. From the tight end position, here's Terry Allen. And he is down at the 10-yard line. George Kuntz makes the tackle. That will officially put Terry Allen at 100 yards for the day on 20 carries, his 3rd 100-yard game of 92. And Philadelphia has added to the lead. Kansas City appears to be in.
That ought to do it. A 15-point lead over the Broncos, and Schottenheimer and the Chiefs have got to be breathing a little bit more easily.
Henderson, he can throw. Looked like he wanted to that time.
He fumbled.
And the Packers have it. Tony Bennett comes up with it.
That's a play they worked on yesterday, the halfback option, and Henderson gives it away way too early. He stops after about 5 steps, starts to load it up, and there's Bennett with the sack, the fumble caused, and the fumble recovery.
Henderson's fumble gives the Packers the ball. They've got it with 6:44 remaining in regulation play.
Working to be the...
In this one with the Vikings up by 20, 27-7. Doubleheader on CBS, and coming up next, most of you will see Chicago taking on the Cowboys at Texas Stadium. Others will watch Atlanta and Los Angeles or Tampa Bay at Phoenix. 27-7 with 6:44 to go, and Brett Favre and the Packers need 3 quick touchdowns. Harry Sidney makes the catch at the 20-yard line. Don Majkowski, who was the starter the first time these two teams met back in week 1. Well, Chris Dolman ran into his own man. He hit Al Noga as he came around the corner. That looked like Darrell Henley of the Rams during the pregame introductions. And that's an unbelievable piece of tape.
Defense number 56. The play was killed because he penetrated so far into the backfield.
I guess he did.
5 yards.
He penetrated a little too deep into Noga's face, too.
Noga doesn't see him. Bingo. Whap.
Noga said, "Who hit me?" This gives Denny Green a chance to rest Dolman and Randall and Thomas, his linebackers. Make sure nobody gets hurt with the playoff game coming up next week.
Almost hurt Noga.
Yeah.
Darrell Thompson and McDaniel makes the stop at the 33-yard line. And we're under 6 minutes. Brett Favre from Kill, Mississippi. Folks are watching down there today. And the Packers will finish with a 9-7 mark, but still a marvelous turnaround from a year ago. And for Denny Green and the Minnesota Vikings, a home berth as the NFC Central Division champions. They will be here next week, either Saturday or Sunday. That's still to be decided.
And it's going to be real interesting, Vern, to see who is named the NFC Coach of the Year and the AFC Coach of the Year. We could have a couple of rookie coaches take those honors away.
Here's Favre. Jackie Harris with a first down at the 43-yard line.
And, of course, the Vikings are going to give up all those type of intermediate routes and shorter routes to the Packers. That 5-15 that they're looking at there is the most important thing for Minnesota.
Pass across the middle. Minuski makes the tackle. Jackie Harris again. And we're at 5 minutes. Harris has caught 5 today for 59 yards. Bring that one back.
False start prior to the snap. Number 52, 5 yards. Still second down.
Frank Winters, the man who moved early.
Yeah, if my offensive linemen are going to false start, I'd rather them do it prior to the snap than after the snap, Vern.
Well, Minnesota on top at the half, and the domination has continued in this half. Favre is down. McDaniel and Tuaolo got there. Esra Tuaolo, number 95, was a former Green Bay Packers second-round draft pick.
Encroachment, number 92 of the defense, 5 yards, still second down.
That's Roy Barker, and you know that Tierlink has got these guys jacked up. It's a chance to get a sack, Barker's just a rookie looking for his first sack in the NFL. And as a team, they're still trying to catch the New Orleans Saints for the NFL lead.
Left into the flat. Audrey McMillan almost picked it off, and it would have been his 9th of the season. Here's a young man with 8 pass interceptions this year, 2 returned for touchdowns. That exceeds the total number of interceptions he had in the previous 7 years.
And this is a blitz adjustment. This is Vincey Glenn coming on the safety blitz. That means the receiver on the outside, Lewis, has got to look and cut to the inside. Well, Lewis didn't, and Audrey McMillan almost came up with his 9th interception, and he might have returned that one for a touchdown as well.
3rd and 5. Sharp intercepted at the 15-yard line. Vincey Glenn, that's 3. And Vincey Glenn is going to give it to somebody in the stand.
He doesn't care. He's just giving it away. He's already got 2 today. Now, if that's his brother, that would really be something.
There's going to be a heck of a demand for tickets in that part of the stadium.
Yeah, the cheap seats are being rewarded with footballs today.
Earlier this season, Audrey McMillan picked off 3 in a game.
Glenn was just playing center field as he did previously and favoring Sharp's side of the field.
First and 10 with 4:43 remaining. Roger Craig. Leroy Butler makes the tackle.
Yeah, this is called deep center field. Look, he's 5, 10, 15, 20, about 22 yards deep. And watch as he knows where Sharp is. He's to the left side of the field. Vincey could have called for a fair catch on that one.
Second down and 11.
But you can't find fault in Brett Favre trying to get his team back in the game and going to his number 1 receiver.
Roger Craig got to the 17-yard line. Well, it's a Green Bay team that had only thrown 12 interceptions coming in the first 15 games, and 3 picked off by Vincey Glenn today.
Yeah, Favre's interception ratio was 2nd best in the NFL, just behind Steve Young of the 49ers.
.346 remaining in regulation play. Timeout has been called. Coming up Thursday, 2:30 Eastern Time, the John Hancock Bowl. Dan and I will be in El Paso for Baylor taking on Arizona in Grant Taft's final game. And then the next day, New Year's Day at 1:30 Eastern, it's Penn State versus Stanford from the Blockbuster Bowl. That's a 1:30 start. Bill Walsh's team takes on Joe Paterno's Penn State Nittany Lions. 1:30 Eastern on New Year's Day. Well, as they say in this part of the country, oofta.
Yeah, that cheese has gone rotten.
Still treasuring that football. 3:51 remaining. Jake Reed steps out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 16 yards on that play right now. Let's check in on the Steelers. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Vern, it was another banner day for Barry Foster in Pittsburgh. In the Steelers' 23-13 win over Cleveland, Foster went over the 100-yard rushing mark for the 12th time this season, ties him with Eric Dickerson for the most in a year. He's also 108 yards up on Emmitt Smith, who needs 109 against Chicago to win the rushing title, Vern.
All right, Greg, and most of the country will see Emmitt Smith's attempt to pass Barry Foster. That's game 2 of our doubleheader. Chicago at Dallas coming up at the conclusion of this one. 3:45 remaining, first and 10. Roger Craig out to the 39-yard line. The tackle made by Chuck Cecil.
You know, as we look forward to that Bears and Cowboy game and Emmitt Smith, my money would be on Emmitt Smith to win that rushing title. Number one, because the Bears don't do very well against stopping the run this year. And number two, Emmitt Smith having a heck of a year, but he has been right there every year of his career among the top rushers. And that game he had last week has set himself up to win another rushing title this week.
Well, it was a year ago in the last game that he came from behind and won the title. And he knows exactly how much he needs. Here's Craig again out to the 41-yard line. Of course, Barry Foster trying to become the first Pittsburgh back since Bill Dudley in 46 to win the rushing crown. Scary moment last week against this Minnesota team when he went out with an upper back sprain, but obviously played most of the way today. 2:39 remaining, and the Minnesota Vikings well in command. They fell behind early to the Green Bay Packers 7-0, but stormed back with 17 points in the first half of play, and they've padded to that lead here in quarter number 3 and 4. Salisbury to Joe Johnson. That's a first down.
This offense has struggled the latter part of this year, but I think the play of Salisbury today, avoiding turnovers and throwing touchdown passes, puts the Vikings in pretty good shape as they look forward to next week.
He's thrown for 288 yards today. First time in 9 weeks they've been over 200.
Braids there. Time to pack up the cheese for next year.
That's another oofta. Here's Roger Craig out to the 49-yard line. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Cheeseheads, and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down at the 50 with 1:20 remaining. It's second down and 5. Salisbury with 292 yards passing, but he'll hand it off to Roger Craig. It has now been announced on the public address system that the Washington Redskins are coming to Minnesota. So for Denny Green in his first season as head coach of the Vikings, the 1992 National Football Conference Central Division champions. And not needing to win today, they did. And they did so in most impressive fashion. Jake Reed, incomplete. Chuck Cecil knocks Reed down. And Reed a little slow getting up at the 15-yard line. Next Saturday it'll be Washington versus Minnesota, and on Sunday Philadelphia against New Orleans.
I think the Vikings are looking forward to seeing Washington. Washington had that game won yesterday against the Raiders. Were very unimpressive in losing to a team led by a 37-year-old quarterback, Vince Evans.
Philadelphia has won it. Ray Handley's Giants finish a really long season. And on fourth down, Harry Newsome comes on. Brett Favre, Ty Detmer on the Packer sideline. Well, their season ended a little earlier than they thought. They were so enthusiastic last night after that Washington loss that and came out and played well early on here, but Minnesota just dominated. That one goes into the end zone. Touchback. It comes out to the 20 with 20 seconds remaining in the 92 season for Mike Holmgren and the Packers.
And for the Vikings on defense, they didn't get all the sacks they wanted, but they held the Packers to just 11 yards rushing on 11 carries. Dominant defense is what wins in the playoffs, and Denny Green has one.
Brett Favre will come on to throw it a couple of times, and Roger Craig and Chris Doman again.
Well, this is a double bucket thing. Henry Thomas and Jenkins have got one too. So if I were John Tierlink, I'd be looking out right now. And if I were Denny Green, I'd be shrugging the shoulders, putting the hat on. Green has no idea it's coming, or does he?
No, he doesn't.
Come on, Denny, smile.
Doman and Craig are ready. Flags are down. Edgar Bennett brings it out to the 35-yard line. Here it comes. That's a double gotcha.
That'll get a smile, too. He got the orange stuff and the water. He's just lucky he's not outside. Anything else I can throw? Come on, there's got to be something else over here.
What a first year
for both teams, both coaches.
Detroit, the champions a year ago, struggled all season. Chicago struggled, and these two teams prevailed. That will do it. The season ends for the Green Bay Packers. Denny Green and the Minnesota Vikings will be at home against the Washington Redskins next Saturday.